So somebody asked me to do a video on dealing with stress, anxiety, things of that nature in a constructive way, not just coping with it, but coping it constructively. Somebody asked me to do something on that. So I just finished my power walk, by the way. Today I didn't jog, didn't do any running, but I did my walk. I just walked around the park one time. Prospect Park was 3.5 miles, not a big deal. I walked around the park today, took in nature, some nature, resonated with the trees, the leaves, listened to the birds, and just, listen to nature. So I figured that'll be a segue into how to cope with the stress in a constructive way. Look, I'm 42, and anybody that's in my age bracket or range, if you've been alive for 42 years, let me tell you this, you're not working properly. You're not functioning properly. And your ego will tell you to dismiss what I'm saying, but your soul, your spirit knows you're not functioning properly. Anybody who's been alive for 40 plus years, even 30 plus years, 20 plus, you're not functioning properly. An analogy is if you have a computer and you had your computer for 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years, whatever, your computer's going to run slow. It's going to freeze. It's going to give you all kind of technical issues because it needs to be rebooted, needs to be upgraded, it needs to be cleaned, whatever. It's the same. That's analogous of you and I as human beings. Like we all accumulate. Cumulatively, we accumulate negative energies, and we block, and we have blockages in our chakras. And our seven chakras become clogged, blocked, static, whatever. And this is totally natural. It's totally normal. So it's nothing to feel ashamed of or whatever. It's totally normal. It's natural. It's part, Galileo wrote have a thesis back in I believe it was the 18th century, 1700s, something like that. Had a paper where he talks about inertia. And inertia is built into all matter. And inertia is just sluggishness. That's all it means. It just simply means the tendency to not move or the tendency to remain doing the same thing. Inertia is a tendency to do the same thing or the tendency to not move. It's a tendency to keep doing the same thing, not move, sluggishness, whatever. And inertia is built into matter. So we all have that inertia, which is a force to remain unchanged. It's built in all of us. This is why people are lazy and sluggish or whatever. And as you age and as you get older, inertia becomes more and more dominant in your life. That's why a lot of people are stuck, whether it's stuck in a job, stuck in a relationship, stuck in themselves, stuck in life, in a certain psyche, certain way of thinking, a thinking pattern, your paradigm. It's a result of inertia. So the way you break that up and the way how you deal with stress, not to deviate too far off the subject matter, dealing with stress, coping with stress and various stresses in your environment and the anxiety, because a coworker of mine suffers from anxiety and he was asking me. So my thing is this. You have to silence your mind, right, and pay attention to your inner critic. Your inner critic is the source of anxiety. Your inner critic is the source of your anxiety. What I mean by that is, what are you speaking to yourself? What are you criticizing yourself about on your subconscious level, where you're subliminally criticizing yourself and you don't realize it, you don't know it. So unknowingly, you're creating your own anxiety. We all do this. We create our own anxiety. So the way you deal with anxiety is to first check your software, which means what your software is your inner critic. What are you constantly telling yourself? What's being replayed over and over in your subconscious thinking that you're not aware of? Bring that to the surface. You know what I'm saying? Or go down. Go within yourself and face that. You know what I mean? Face that inner critic and silence that, fix that. And, another way that I deal with stress and anxiety is exercise. Like I said, I just finished doing my power walk today. Nothing crazy. I'm an avid runner. If you watch my videos, I'm a runner. But today was just a walk day. Some days I just, you just walk, relax, breathe, inhale, take in nature. So today was a walk day. Exercise. I can't emphasize that. I can't overemphasize that. Exercise. And all right, so you don't feel like exercising. Okay, fine. Meditation. Okay, which is what we just discussed, silencing your inner critic. right? Meditate, go into yourself and quiet yourself, quiet your mind, and just listen to the quiet, listen to the stillness, listen to the silence, and whatever pops up. Don't. Here's the thing too. We all need to be wired. Like I said, we're all now working and functioning at our optimal. The optimal frequency of the human body is between 62 to 70. 62 to 70 is optimal frequency. That means all your cells, the trillions of your cells, are vibrating at their balance. They're all balanced and vibrating at the frequency they were designed to vibrate at. So between 60 and 70, 60 and 72, I think that's it. 60 and 72, that's optimal. Your energy field has a frequency, and it's between 60 and 72 would be your optimal range that you want to be in. That means you're healthy. You're not subjected to viruses. You're not subjected to illnesses, whether it's a mental illness, a physical illness, a psychological illness, same difference. But your body energy, your energy field, which is your aura, your auric field, or your prana, or your life source, it's at its optimal performance between 60 and 72, and you can ward off negative energies that would lower your vibratory rate. Right. So what you want to do is you want to increase your vibration, increase your frequency, increase that energy, increase your energetic aura, or your auric energy, your auric body, etheric body, same difference. You want to increase that by exercising, watching the foods that you eat, the things you put in your body is very important, right? Because all these different foods that we eat, they have lower frequencies, so they pull your optimal frequency, your frequency rate down. If your frequency rate falls to 58 or lower, you're subject to illnesses, whether it's physical or psychological illnesses. So you want to keep that rate high. Just like how you have a heart rate, right? We have a resting heart rate, you have a maximum heart rate, and your heart rate can't be too high, too low. Your heart rate is based on variables, age, weight, height, this, that. So everybody's heart, everything is different, it's unique. But the fact that you have a heart rate, the fact that you have a metabolic rate, you also have an etheric rate. And that's what we're not taught. Like, most people know about the heart rate. Most people know about the your metabolic rate, if it's slow, if it's fast, and the benefits, the disadvantages. Most people, we have a general idea of that. You don't need to be a doctor. That's pretty general and common stuff. But what we don't know is that your etheric body has a rate too, and that's between 60 and 72. If you drop below that, you're subjected to illnesses, depression, you become bipolar, schizophrenia. All these mental illnesses are a result of people's etheric rate, or vibratory rate, your etheric body's rate, which is your energy body's rate, dropping below that range of 60 to 72. So anxiety, stress, depression, these things will take hold of you if you don't raise your vibratory rate. No different than if your heart rate goes too low, or if it goes too high, you'll have physical illnesses. If your metabolic rate is too low, you'll have physical illnesses. If it's too high, you'll have it's the same concept. In principle, it's the same thing. So to deal with that, to fight off anxiety and depression and all that other mental bullshit, you really gotta take care of yourself. And when I say take care of yourself, I'm not talking about on a physical level, but on a spiritual level, or a metaphysical level. And spend time, like I said, self-development, personally develop yourself. I'm very big on that. Personal development is the most important thing you can achieve in this life. Developing who you are as a human being, tapping into your full potentiality, understanding, again, your 7 chakras, and how, your chakras are wheels, they spin, right? And if they're not spinning at their optimal rate, each chakra has its own vibratory rate. If it's not operating at its optimal rate, it's going to throw your whole etheric body energy out of whack, out of balance. So balancing yourself. Look, if you got a car and you don't align your wheels, right, your car gonna verge off to whatever side of the road. We all know, you know what I mean? So you got to go in for wheel alignment, right? And if you don't take your car in every several months to get a transmission tune up and everything like that, flush your engine, you're going to have problems. So if you don't take care of your body, no different than you take care of your vehicle, and take yourself in for a tune up every now and then, and give yourself a wheel alignment every now and then. But you can't do that if you don't know these things about yourself. Most people don't even stop to think that your EEG, electroencephalograph, which measures the frequency of your brain waves. You got 4 waves that we generally fluctuate between. Those 4 waves, theta, delta, delta, theta, alpha, beta, those waves are what shapes your perspective. It allows you to see the world in particular ways. Depending on which wave you're in is how you're going to see your reality. And how you see your reality is how you're going to create your reality. So if you're not even aware that these brain waves, they each have specific rates that you're supposed to be in, your view of life is going to be distorted. Your view of yourself is going to be distorted. This is why so many people commit suicide. This is why so many people fall into depression. So many people have self-loathing, self-hate, self-saboteurs, right? So give yourself a will alignment mentally, psychologically, spiritually, emotionally. Tap into your different causal bodies. And, you know, and the only way you can do these things is to study, folks. You know what I'm saying? You got to hit the books, and you got to open yourself up to the higher planes and states of this life. All right, till next time, hopefully this video is somewhat helpful. Peace.